Welcome to the Be Life Project for Bosses, Books, and Brunch. I'm Sade Moore, and today's discussion is inspired by Open Water, written by Caleb Azuma Nelson. And today's recipe is inspired by my great-grandparents, Katie and Gerald. Cook some old-fashioned biscuits, y'all, for some good old-fashioned loving, because love is really the theme of this episode today. I did use Mama Dip's Kitchen and Dr. Maya Angelou's Great Food book just to have a structure that I could follow, and my grandmother was sitting here right in the kitchen with me as I cooked these biscuits just so that I could, do them right. And so, again, because we're talking about the good old-fashioned loving, let's go ahead and get right into it. Also, too, these biscuits, you guys, they came out so good, okay? Comforting, healthy, just all around good. Now, Open Water, my top 3. Number 1, love is safe. Okay? Love is safe. In the book, the author does an excellent job with showing us how when the characters are not acting out of conditions, how they can fully be themselves. And it's not until the guy betrays himself and betrays the relationship by not being honest that we actually experience the tension in their relationship. The flow gets completely taken off course. And he was struggling with just simply being how to express himself as a black man, the anger that he feels, just simply being a black man living in London and not knowing if that will be the day that he gets 20 bullets put inside of him, or that would be the last day that he ever sees his mother, or that will be the day that he gets racially profiled, or that would be the day that he's placed in handcuffs for whatever reason because somebody wants to show their authority or their power in the guise of white supremacy, right? And so over time, he develops a conditioned response, which is dishonesty within himself because he doesn't know how to process his anger. So now that he has this safe bond that he's established with this woman, he now completely disrupts that because he experienced, without me giving again too much away, he experiences a few situations and he acts out of the conditioned response. He's not being honest. And so it puts a lot of weight and a lot of tension on the relationship and causes them to distance themselves, again, without not giving away too much. But what this author did a good job was establishing a foundation of love being a very safe place that you can always come to. It's not painful. It's not, some of the things that we make it. It is very safe. It is very real. Second thing is, love is poetic. This guy, the language that he uses in this book is just so, it makes you feel, it's comfortable. Kind of like this old-fashioned biscuit that I'm eating right now. Again, thinking about this idea of it just makes you feel good. Like this biscuit right now is so tender and warm inside, and it's just so good. I'm not even lying. It's so good. And it makes me feel good. And that's how love is. Like the food, the language, the connection. It just, when I'm reading it from top to bottom, I just felt so good. A feeling can't be faked. And I love that in the language, I could feel the love. And it was very comforting. And just real quick story. My great-grandpop and my grandmom Katie were married for a very long time. And my great-grandpa was in the war. And one of the stories that he would share with my grandmother was that white men would take credit for a lot of the things that they did in World War II, or even some of the things that they built, right? So this idea of growing up in a racist society, fighting in their wars, and still not being seen or valued, but yet creating a space, a home within the world where you are seen, where you are valued, where you are respected. I mean, to this day, the house that you see me in, the kitchen that you see me in right now, was purchased by my great-grandparents. That's legacy, and that's love. You know, the only problem that they ever had to deal with was if my great-grandfather, you know what I mean, was having one of his episodes because he thought maybe he was still in the war. But they loved each other. My grandma never had to worry about my grandpa smacking her upside the head or cheating on her or lying about money or just none of the kind of stuff that, you know, some of the things that we deal with in relationships today. And again, sometimes those things happen again out of conditioned responses because you're creating experiences from conditions because that's all you know until you know something better. But again, the feeling of love, real love, it can't be faked. And I think the author did a great job by expressing that in this book. The third thing is love is art. This guy was a photographer. This woman was a dancer. And so I loved how art, the idea of imagery and music, again, allowed us to feel the love that they felt for each other. And when I think about, again, water being this very protective force, this force that's also very surface as well, it is very, very deep. Again, this biscuit, very comforting. And it makes me think about even my dog. I had a best friend. My best friend was one of my dogs. My dog's name was, his name was Biscuit. My daddy got him for me and really for us. But I struggled with bullying when I was a little girl. And my dog Biscuit was so protective over me. Like when I'm dealing with the stuff, dealing with the world, I knew that I always had a safe place to come to because Biscuit actually absolutely loved me. So that was another thing that just made me think about, you know, good old fashioned biscuits and real good loving. It's just that the simple idea that it is love is comfortable and is safe and not, you know, some of the things that we make it, oh, you don't want to be your best. I'm not talking about any of that stuff. Okay. Simply the mere fact that whatever is going on in the world, whether it's racism or whatever kind of social issue that you can think of, the fact that you can create a bond with someone or someone's and know that you always have a place to come to no matter what's thrown at you in the world, and you're seen, you're valued, you're treasured, you're respected, and you're protected. Those things I just can never take for granted. And when someone can express that in the book, and this is in less than 200 pages. And I'm telling you guys, this book was amazing. Please do yourself a justice and a favor in reading this book and having a good biscuit. My question for you guys is, if you are in a relationship, is it a place where you can honestly communicate with your significant other about some of the racial things that are happening in our world today? Or do you feel like you're still processing where your outlet is? If it's therapy, I don't know, journal, or you don't feel like that place is safe at home, I want to know. I want to hear from you. But I'm going to finish my biscuit and I can't wait to talk to you guys next week. Peace and have a good day.